Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for this next episode of Talking Shit. Today we have special guest Ynge, and she's going to be talking about what does belly fat, brain fog, and burnout have to do with allergies. Like, I'm fascinated how we're going to tie all this together, so it should be a great show. But why talking shit? It's because I found in my own health story and a lot of other practitioners that I know that are doing this type of work, there is that kind of shitstorm that happened to them, right? That got them into this line of work. And so I like to take this stuff out of the darkness and into the light so that people can heal. People can't heal if they don't hear their story out there somewhere, right? And so that's why I love people to tell all their fun stuff, because otherwise how do we bring awareness to this stuff? So I'm Heather Gray. I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, AKA Lyme Boss. And I work with frustrated professionals who have tried everything and still have embarrassing gut issues, horrible brain fog, and widespread chronic pain. Say that 10 times fast. But I help them to get to the root causes of their issues so that they can get back to having a productive, joy-filled life. And who wouldn't want more of that, right? But enough about me. Let's get in and jump in with our special guest here, and let's find out those beautiful, colorful books that are background, finding your lost child. Like, there's just so much I want to learn about you. So how are all these things? What is your shit story? What got you into this line of work?
Well, first of all, I have been working with allergies since 98. And because I didn't find I got the results I wanted, and started to treat autism in 2000, more or less. And then in 17 in December, no, 7, it was 18, 19. It was almost 19. I had a big sinus operation on all my sinuses that lasted over 6 hours. And afterwards, I was put on antibiotics, and of course, they scare the shit out of you. And the third time, they gave me each time 1 month. The third time, he was giving me another month with something else. And in 6 days, I lost like 10 pounds, and I didn't need to lose any. And I started to study endocrinology. So this is how I realized what happened. I had a blood test done by my functional doctor like 4 weeks after the operation. And he said, Ynge, your fasting blood glucose sugar is a little too high. I didn't pay attention to it because I have never had problems. I have never been overweight. Nobody in my family has had a heart attack or stroke or diabetes. So I didn't pay attention to it. But when I started to study endocrinology, I bought a little meter and found that my blood sugar is off the chart. And being skinny, because I'm really skinny, I have a tummy. And, learning about endocrinology, this is what you learn, belly fat and hormones and blood sugar, is the bottom of everything, I think. So that is how I started to really understand. When I saw it in myself, I could understand, even though I don't want to lose weight, but I want to get my blood sugar, I want to get my belly fat gone. So that is really why I started with this. And I have worked with weight loss before. And what I see is, for example, if you have a craving, that is often an allergy, and you crave what you are allergic to and what you should not have most of the time. Simple carbs, sugar to start with. And if you can, because I have my allergy, I'm the creator of the allergy kit, which is an easy process, do it yourself that you can do in your house. You don't use anything up, so you can use the whole family as an energy treatment, and you can eliminate your allergies. And once you eliminate, for example, the sugar allergy, whether it's allergy or candida, but it has kind of the same effect. So treating with the allergy kit, for example, sugar, which is the second treatment, people get rid of their sugar cravings. And the same goes with other wheat, for example, grains. So when you get rid of your cravings, that's when you can start to lose weight. Because as long as you keep eating sugar and all this bread doesn't happen.
So how does the allergy kit work? This sounds fascinating to me. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Okay, it is, I don't know if you're familiar with the Nambujapad's allergy elimination technique.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so these are, I just took her idea, and I was a practitioner of NATE, but it took too long time and many people didn't finish their treatments. It felt good enough. So I said, this is something people have to take responsibility for their own health. And this is something they can do themselves. They don't have to go to the practitioner every time they need to have a treatment or, be treated for it. So, so I started to experiment and worked on it for years. But in 2006, I launched the allergy kit. And of course, it has developed since then. And it works with, it's an energy treatment. So you use the vials, you put them on your belly button together with saliva, just a tiny lick of saliva, because in the saliva, everything that goes on in the body is there, right? And the belly button is not only the center of the body, it's also the center of the digestive system. So it's like a snapshot. The body knows what to do and where to go. And you have an intention, of course, when you do what you should have, whatever you do. And then you treat with a cold red laser. So you treat on the belly button, you treat on the midline of the head, because that's connected to the spine, which is connected to, all the nerves in the body. And then you do the ears, which is the same thing, all the organs and the meridians, because this is the head, this is the butt of an upside down baby, a fetus. So that's how you can find all where the legs and the arms and everything is.
Fascinating. I kind of wondered if your work didn't have a little something to do with energetics, because I'm noticing that beautiful necklace that you have on, and that looks like some sacred geometry going on, right?
Yeah, it's the Star of David.
Oh, it's the Star of David. Got it. Okay, that's beautiful. And where is your beautiful accent from?
I'm Swedish originally.
Okay, very cool. Where are you living at now?
On the border to Miami.
Okay, cool. So how do they treat with a cold laser at home?
Yeah, so it comes with a kit.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a thin. It's not one of those that you point with. It's I can show here how it
Yeah.
comes. So it comes with the vials that are imprinted with the frequencies. So it's homeopathy,
Right.
and this is the pen that you use, like a laser pen.
That sounds incredible. So how long have you been working with people using your allergy kit?
Since 2006.
2006. Well, for a long time.
Long time, yeah. So I have probably thousands that have.
Wow. Thousands. So tell me like some of your coolest like success stories.
Well, it doesn't have to. My coolest story is really with an autistic child. So it's doesn't have anything to do with weight, but this was a kid 5 years old who hardly spoke. He had at least 7 temper tantrums a day. He didn't want to use certain shoes or clothes, and he was really difficult. And I treated him for allergies, and within a few treatments, he started to talk. And almost immediately, his temper tantrum went down from 7 to 5 and then shortly thereafter, he did not have any.
Wow.
And I met his father brought me to him. This is a while ago. So then he was 15. And I said, isn't it marvelous that he's gotten out of autism? So, he never had autism. He was in a special school for autistic children. He does not remember that his child was autistic.
What? That's incredible. What a gift you gave. I mean, that kid for the rest of his life, and what a gift you gave to the parents.
So the father doesn't remember, but his mother often calls me. She used to call me like once a year and thank me, crying every time that I saved his life.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh. So what other kind of symptoms and issues have you been able to kind of help balance
Well,
out?
a lot, because, for example, depression and anxiety, it has to do with the gut. And as long as you don't fix your gut, you can take your pills, but you don't get over what is ailing you, really. I mean, the shrink, he gives you the pills, but he's looking in the wrong place.
Right.
So apart from that, anxiety, and of course that has to do also for people who gain a lot of weight. They are anxious. I mean, it is hard to lose weight, especially because they think in a big chunk. You can do like half a pound a week or every 2 weeks or something. It would be easy to think about it, but it creates anxiety and often depression. So as I say, I have met one person since 98 that did not have any allergies. And he was from one of the islands, Bahamas or Bermuda, I don't know which, grew up in the boonies, no vaccinations, no spraying of anything. Everything was organic, piglets and chicken and whatever they had. The only guy, he was probably 60. The only guy I've ever seen who did not, because I do muscle testing. And I think muscle testing is much more accurate than the pricks or the pricks they do on the back, or the other blood test. Because I get a lot of people that come in, oh yes, I have this and this and this, but the basic is not there.
Right. What's the root cause? Yeah.
Because the basic is the basic food we eat. Egg and chicken, milk, dairy, and vitamin C, all these things. And if we cannot absorb those, we can't strengthen the immune system.
That makes a lot of sense. So toxicities in our environment, bad food, all these things leading to leaky gut, which then are causing a lot of these other symptoms is what you're saying. And so if you balance out the allergies, then you can balance out the other symptoms.
Yeah.
Obviously probably still working on, gut health and all these other things, but
absolutely.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So tell me a little bit more about your book that's behind you.
Okay, so this is, I wrote this for autism specifically. So it is Finding Your Lost Child, Understanding Allergies, Nutrition, and Detox in Kids on the Spectrum. Because there are so many things parents can do. Among other things, of course, the the food. And reading labels and understand that they can't have sugar and sweets and pizza and all that.
Colors, yeah.
And exactly. So by treating these allergies, because they have allergies, they have tons, autistic children have tons of allergies, and they are very, very sensitive. So when they buy an autism kit, I recommend that they do the treatments with a surrogate. Because they are so sensitive. Even if they are older, they are very, very sensitive, and you don't want them to get a reaction. Right. So they can treat themselves, do the treatment on themselves, just have the Q-tip on the child, and just be in physical contact. The kid can put an arm on the arm or the leg, or sitting close together, and the treatment goes to the child. Just the intention.
Right. Oh, that's unbelievable. And you obviously must be a believer to have continued to do this type of work for so long and seeing these amazing results. Like, I just got started working with an AO scanner, and it's frequency, and we'll scan the body. And then there's an inner voice that does mental emotional stuff, and it'll send sound healing back to help balance out different things. And I just got started with it, and I had a client ask me how it works, and I still have sometimes a hard time explaining, it, but it kind of goes back into the quantum, entanglement, physics type of stuff, and how everything is made up of frequency and vibrations. And so it's a fascinating, I had Rife technology done on me when I first got treated for Lyme, back, 10 years ago. And so I'm a huge believer in this type of stuff. So I had no idea this is what we're going to be talking about today. So this is truly awesome. But how did you jump from blood sugar and belly fat to autism? Like, where does that?
No, so autism, I have done that since 2000. And of course, everybody else, first of all, just to show you how things are, sometimes I have my acupuncture clients, and then some were allergy clients. And then one day, a patient of me who used to come in for neck pain, like once or twice a year. And one day in January, he came in, he crawled in almost. He had somebody drive into the office. He didn't have an appointment. He had a sciatic, just blew out his back, could not move. And I treated him with 4 different acupuncture modalities. Nothing helped. And then I asked, do you drink coffee? Because coffee is a gallbladder irritant, and the meridian of the sciatica goes straight over the gallbladder. And he said, oh, it's funny that you say that, because it was cold in South Florida in the so like 65 degrees or something. It was in January, so it was cold. And my boss gave me a double Cuban coffee. And then about 2 hours later, he turned around, pulled down an empty box and couldn't move. And so I treated him for an allergy to coffee. Within 5 minutes, his pain was gone.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So after that, I treated all clients, whether they came for toe pain or hip pain or whatever, for allergies, because I found I had better and faster results.
That is absolutely incredible. Wow. Gallbladder and coffee. Yeah, it's funny. Coffee causes a lot more problems than what's normally put out there. And it still cracks me up that so many people still drink it, because it really is an irritant to the body, kind of, period. It's tough for the body to process. So that's fascinating.
Especially the coffee you buy out there that's not organic, that's so heavily sprayed, and apart from being toxic and very acidic. And some people, I mean, they complain about their GERD, but they drink coffee all day long.
Right. Yeah. And then these women with osteopenia and all these other things that have had decades of coffee use, and they wonder why, because when you get something that acidic in your body, what's your body trying to do but to bring it more alkaline, so it steals, right, minerals from your bones.
Oh, yes.
And, it's fascinating to me, all the folks that still drink coffee, but I've switched to tea a long time ago. But I get it, though. It tastes so good and it smells so good.
Oh, it smells so good. But, 1 cup of coffee, but it really has to be organic. And there is one brand that is not acidic. And 1 cup a day. But of course, everything is not for everybody.
Right. No, for sure. Yeah.
It is often because helps the liver. So 1 cup can be good, but, not the big thing. So, and also coffee enemas are good.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm like, actually, I take coffee the other way every I take it the other way. And it's amazing. It's amazing what it does for my liver and your blood, just cleaning everything out. And so what do you got working on right now? What do you have coming up that you'd like to plug? This is your shameless plug time. What do you want to get? Any workshops, webinars?
Well, I have workshops. I am just now finishing a 6-week belly fat course.
Nice.
And I will probably come out with something not next year, but a few months down the road. What I want to add is allergy kit for autism with coaching. With coaching, with body code. And I also, for non-verbal, I have a colleague who can telepathically communicate with them. So I add that, and that's what I would like to do. To have something more in their tool bags, because what I do is just one part. It's nothing instead of.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, it definitely takes more than one modality for folks. I think there's no magic bullet out there. But how beautiful. I mean, like, this is the perfect conversation for this talking shit podcast, because you have married like the functional, the acupuncture part, right? The physical in with a lot of this energetic stuff. And then you just talked about telepathic. So you're bringing in all these cool modalities that a lot of people think are woo woo and they discredit.
Yeah.
But obviously you've seen the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah. No, and the body code is incredible. So, and they can go to drynge.com at drynge.com. They can download a free surprise allergies that you probably don't know. I don't remember the title. And they can also download a PDF for my book.
Awesome. Yeah, highly recommend checking that out. And yeah, I'll definitely get your information in the show notes. So is there anything, last little tidbit that you want to leave our guest with today?
Start to eat organic.
Amen to that, right? Awesome. Thank you so much for being on today and being vulnerable and sharing your story and all the cool things you're doing in the world. You're anybody who's working in that spectrum with autism, especially. I mean, that's a tough, complicated area. And God
Yes.
bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. And to the rest of you, thanks for joining us today, and make sure to have a healthy day.